Hey guys, so this is an example video of more like basic examples of linear equations. So if you are looking for a bigger explanation or a longer explanation of kind of how this works, in example videos, I just kind of blow through the examples. I assume you kind of know the basics and you just want to see more. So if you feel like this isn't enough and you are looking for a deeper explanation, consider checking out my lesson video. So for all of these examples, what we're going to do is we're going to put your final answer on the number line and an interval notation. So these are the 4 examples that I'm going to go through in this video. So ways that you could use this example or this video is you could always just pause here, try these examples, and just use this as a way to quiz yourself. Or if there's a particular example that you want to see, you could just do that one and then fast forward to it. So let's go ahead and jump right into these then. So for this first one, so I need to get the x by itself. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to subtract the 7, which that will then give me 2x is greater than or equal to 6, and then I divide both sides by 2 to get x is greater than or equal to 3. Okay, so now to put that on the number line, so here's my 3, so here's 4, here's 2. I usually just like to put those numbers on here just as little markers. So where are my x's greater than 3, to the left or to the right? Well, that would be to the right. That's where the greater than direction is. And then you can either use a square bracket or a closed dot. And if you aren't familiar with this, I will drop a link to my video on notation and just working with number lines, and also interval notation, which we've got to do next. So for the interval notation, so I'm starting at 3, I use a square bracket to include 3, and then I go all the way to infinity. And again, so if either one of these you're not sure about this, you can check out my video where I go through all that. Okay, so moving on to B here. So I've got to get the x's by themselves. So first things first, I usually like to get the x's on the left side. So I just go ahead and subtract off the 6x. So now I get negative 2x minus 6 is less than negative 10. And then I can add 6 to both sides to get negative 2x is less than negative 4. And now notice in this case I'm dividing both sides by a negative number. So when I do that, I have to flip the direction of the inequality. And so now I can put that on the number line. So here's 2, here's 1, here's 3. So the greater than direction in this case would be this way. And so 2 is not included in this one, so I'll use either a round bracket or an open dot, whichever one you prefer. So these are just, you know, the 2 different symbols you can use for number lines. You don't put both of them on there, you choose one. And then we're going to start at 2, we're going to go to positive infinity, so there's our interval notation. Okay, so for C here, so the only way to get this party started is we have to first distribute on both sides. So if I distribute, I get 15 minus 6x is greater than 15 plus 10x. So I need to get all the x's to one side, so I'll go ahead and subtract the 10x. So I get 15 minus 16x is greater than 15. And then I'll subtract off the 15 to get negative 16x is greater than 0. And so now to finish solving for x, so I just divide both sides by negative 16. Now remember, if you divide by a negative number, that is going to flip the direction of your inequality. So in this case, my answer is going to be x is less than 0. So 0 divided by anything is just 0. And so now I can do my number line. So I'm going to go this direction. And I can use either the open dot or the rounded bracket, either way. And then my interval notation, I start at negative infinity and I go to 0. Okay, so now for D here, so once again, so the first thing I've really got to do is just distribute. So this is going to be 2 minus 4x minus 12 plus 12x. Make sure you're careful, this is a negative 3, so you want to distribute that negative in properly. And then this will be 12x plus 12. Okay, so collecting my like terms now on the left side. So I get, let's see, 8 minus 12 is negative 4, and then negative 4x plus 12x will be 8x. And okay, so now I've got all of this. And maybe just for fun here, what I'll do is I'll go in a different direction. So let's say that I take the x's over to this side. So now I've got, this becomes negative 4 is less than 4x plus 12. And then I subtract off the 12 to get negative 16x is less than or equal to 4x divide, just negative 16, not negative 16x. And then 4x divided by 4 and negative 16 divided by 4. So notice I am dividing by a positive number, so I don't flip the inequality in this case. So I get, I'm jumping ahead here. Negative 4 is less than or equal to x. Okay, so this answer, you can leave it like this, but I tend to find it's best to always have your x on the left side because this directionally kind of confuses people. So if I were to then flip this around, so I just want the mouth of the inequality, so to speak, to be in the same direction, so it's still opening towards the x. So if I flip this around, this is actually x is greater than or equal to negative 4. And so here's my negative 4, here's the greater than direction. And I can use a square bracket or a closed dot, your choice. And then I go from negative 4 to positive infinity. Oops, that's terrible looking infinity. There we go. And so that would be the answer in this case. So I just recommend like always having this x on this side because I tend to find people will go the wrong direction if they don't have the x on kind of a consistent side. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, you can drop me a comment. I do have another video where I just go through examples with fractions or decimals. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time.